Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was an extremely wise and powerful king who ruled over a vast and prosperous kingdom. Every night, while the king slept, a terrible witch would sneak into his throne room. She would shrink herself down to the size of an insect and crawl onto the king's crown. Then she would whisper horrible things into his ear, filling his mind with evil dreams. When the king woke up each morning, he felt terrible. His heart was filled with anger and his mind with cruelty. He lashed out at his advisers, his servants, and his people. Soon the entire kingdom was thrown into chaos. No one knew what had happened to their beloved king. He had become a tyrant, a monster, all because of the witch's evil spells. Now the king had a loyal servant named Jabari. Jabari was a simple man, just a commoner, but he loved his king and his kingdom with all of his heart. He saw how the witch was destroying everything, and he knew he had to do something. But what could one ordinary man do against a powerful witch? Jabari went to see the king's counselor, the wisest man in the kingdom. He told the counselor everything he'd seen and asked for help. The counselor listened patiently, then said, "You are right, my son. This is a terrible problem. But I am afraid there is no easy solution. The only way to defeat this witch is to trap her in a calabash." "A calabash?" asked Jabari. "But how can I do that?" The counselor showed Jabari an old scar on his arm. "When I was young," he said, "I fought a crocodile and it bit me. That's where the witch got her magic. From that moment on, she has been stealing my dreams, putting terrible thoughts into my head. I've been a prisoner in my own mind ever since. But I found a way to fight back. I carved these symbols into my arm. They are ancient crocodile magic symbols. And every night before I sleep, I trace them over my wound. It doesn't stop the pain, but it keeps the witch from taking my dreams." Jabari thanked the counselor for his help and set to work. Every night he would carve new symbols into his arm. It hurt so much that he almost passed out, but he refused to give up. He knew that if he didn't succeed, his king and his kingdom would be destroyed. Finally, after many weeks, Jabari's arm was covered with symbols. He was exhausted, but he knew it was worth it. One night, the witch came to steal the king's dreams, as she had done every night for so long. But when she crawled onto the crown, she felt something strange. Jabari's magic symbols were glowing brightly, and they burned her skin. She screamed in pain and tried to jump off the crown, but it was too late. Jabari had trapped her inside the gourd. The next morning, Jabari took the gourd to the king. "Your Majesty," he said, "I have something to show you." Jabari poured water into the gourd. The witch came out, dripping wet. She was very weak, but she was still dangerous. With a flick of her wrist, she sent a bolt of lightning toward Jabari, but he dodged out of the way. The witch was furious. "You stupid little insect," she yelled at Jabari. "I will kill you." But Jabari wasn't scared. He knew the witch couldn't hurt him now that he had trapped her. He handed the gourd to the king. "Your Majesty," he said, "this is the witch who has been stealing your dreams." The king looked at the witch and remembered all the evil things she had made him do. He was ashamed and horrified. "How could I have been so cruel?" he asked. The witch laughed. "It was easy," she said. "All I had to do was whisper a few spells in your ear, and you became my puppet. But now your dreams are mine." Jabari knew what he had to do. He climbed onto the king's throne and faced the witch. He closed his eyes tight and thought of all the good things in his life. He thought of his family and friends, of his beautiful homeland. He thought of the wise counselor who had helped him, and of the brave warriors who defended the kingdom. And as he thought of all these good things, he began to glow. A powerful light filled the throne room, driving back the darkness. The witch screamed in terror. "No," she cried, "I don't want the light. Please, please let me go." But it was too late. Jabari's dream, his one true dream, had defeated her. The next morning the sun rose over the kingdom. The birds sang and the people rejoiced. Their king was back. The witch was gone, and everyone lived happily ever after.